its applicability, can you each address the recruiting challenges you see for the force of the future? And how can modeling and simulation help
That's my question.
overcome any of those challenges that you see in recruiting? I know we don't have our personnel chiefs here, but we've got the forces that need the operators, and you all need to have certain capability sets in all of the men and women that serve you. Can we use modeling and simulation to overcome any of those challenges?
Absolutely, and I think that gets to the quality of service piece and the recruit and retain. If they're excited when they come in and they get trained and have high quality of service, and then the warfighting competencies there, I think they tell their buds in high school, hey, there's some hard days, but this is pretty cool, and I'm learning fast, and this is really exciting. And that's really what the Chief of Naval Operations and the Vice Chief are getting after for our force. And I am happy to report that our recruiting command and NETC have increased to over 40,000 our recruits. And so we're starting to fill all of the missing seats that are out there in the fleet, and really excited. I just went to a graduation at Great Lakes, and there was 1,000 graduates there. They had been graduating 400 to 500. So all the divisions that are going through every week are now in the 800 to 1,000 range. So they're really getting them. Now it's our responsibility to treat them right and to make their experience good, so that they retain in the service and then tell all their friends, hey, this is the way to do things, this got me ahead, and this is right for the nation. And I think that's what we're doing. And I know the Marine Corps is along that journey, and so are everybody else in the Joint Force and our allies and partners.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, quality of experience really matters, and so as we seek to mature the force, and the Marine Corps has been able to continue to make its recruiting goals because we invest our best people, quite frankly, and great numbers of them in recruiting. We make it a priority. But the reason that retention matters is, again, to that point about this increasingly sophisticated nature of the tools that we're using. And so that's one reason we've got to evolve our training methodologies. And I think
We need to recruit and train the way we recruit and train pilots, is my answer.
It just kind of speaks to that visceral, emotional reason, that sense of value, purpose, and the idea that I'm not only good at what I do, but I'm prepared for what may be asked of me at some point in the future is critical. So not just physics-based modeling that's accurate with authoritative data sets, but it is simulations that get the blood pumping, that raise the level of emotions and cause you to deal with some of those elements of the nature of war, friction, fear, uncertainty, things like that increase confidence as you go forward.
Yeah, fortunately, on the Space Force side, recruiting numbers have been pretty strong. Again, when you're a small service, the numbers, it's fairly easy to meet some of those, but we've had a lot of interest. Some of the things that we have certainly seen, both on the officer and enlisted side, though, if we look at the enlisted force, our average age of our enlisted member going through basic military training is 24 years old. And so, along with that, we're also seeing that they're coming in with degrees, in some cases advanced degrees. So, we know that we already have a highly technical force. So challenging them as early as B&T to understand the environment and the domain that they're going to have to operate in is really important. One of the other key things earlier this year, the CSO signed out kind of the roles and responsibilities of what Guardians would do in the future. For many years, we had overlap between officer, enlisted, and civilian. And when you're 14,000 strong, we really don't have that luxury. So looking at how we really shift a bunch of our technical warfighting capability to our enlisted force drives a different type of training that's going to be needed from B&T on. As we look at our officer corps, now we're bringing officers in as opposed to being specific to a discipline. Earlier this fall, on the 3rd of September, we started our first officer training course, where now every officer will come in with a baseline. They will be in space operations, cyber operations, and intelligence. And that will be underpinned on how they understand modeling simulation and those 3 different disciplines that in many cases they would have only gotten one in the past. So we're significantly looking at how we train and educate our Guardians differently. And in some cases, again, back to partnerships, looking at academia, where the expertise is across this country, and finding the right places to send them when it comes to whether it be cyber operations or policy, things along those lines, so that we can partner instead of trying to create forces ourselves and educate them on the timelines and the relevancy of how some of these disciplines are changing day in and day out.
General Zinn?
So I would just add an additional point. Young men and women join the Army for a variety of reasons, but I would submit that somewhere in there is a reason to be part of a world-class team, that they can have pride in, to be part of an important mission, to have an impact, something that's bigger than themselves. And what modeling and simulation does is exactly what Admiral Achievers and General Watson, I think, said very articulately. It's that quality of service, realistic training that retains the folks that come in and inspire others to want to come in. The Army is transforming now at a high pace. One of our initiatives is called Transformation Contact. That's what our chief calls it. It's focused on near-term innovation, leveraging young soldiers and young leaders to apply their skills to change quickly. It's a particularly exciting time to be part of the Army. If you want to be part of it, we're hiring right now.
Good one.
Yeah, coming to that as well from my perspective, I described a couple of minutes ago how we are establishing the conscript system once more. And the cause of that is that we try
That's
to
also
build up a
recruiting
professional
from
army in
conscript.
Sweden, but we are too few people in Sweden to bring up the standards and the amount of people for professional army.
Selective
So that's why we are
conscription.
going back to conscription once more. And from that perspective, we need more of this
With financial incentives.
simulation system to bring up the conscript into the best of standards that we can get.
Yes, sir. General Zinn, I'd like to go back to you if I may.